Good morning. It's a new year, new me. I figure I'd start the year off right with going and picking up something that I really need. Something that will lift me up when I'm down and support the things that I love most when I need it the most. So let's get a cold start on Earl. Get on the road. Son of a... Damn it. So some of you are probably wondering, what was the straw that finally broke the camel's back on going out and picking up a reel jack? Well, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Meet the straw. I gotta lift this whole thing up like 1.5 feet off the ground because I can't fit under it with my tiny little jack and jack stands, so here we go. So as you saw in the last episode, went out to take this for a test drive after completing the headlights and rewarding myself for doing all this work, and made it about 1/4 mile before there was such a horrendous vibration from the drive shaft that I thought it was going to spit it out the side, so I came home. Oh, we got a new leak. Oh, good. Not just from the oil pan anymore. We got another leak from something else. Good. Anywho, so now we need to jack this thing up. I'm going to see if I can tighten some of the oil pan, see what this oil leak is. And I also need to look at the drive shaft and figure out what's going on with that. Maybe we'll get to drive this thing, and maybe we'll get to do a 0 to 60. Or maybe it'll do 0 to 10 to 0 and then get towed home. But I don't want to be judgmental. Maybe it'll do all right. Just has not given me that indication yet. Well, why is it taped up? Yeah. Ooh, fancy. It's gonna cut me later, I'm sure. Owner's manual and safety instructions. Important.
That's Jason Bourne.
Stuff this right under the oil pan with the other one. Oh yeah, that oil leak is nice. Oh good, it doesn't reach. It says rapid pump. Doesn't seem to be very rapid. Make sure we're actually not on the oil pan. Oh, yep, okay, remember, we're good. Hi, it's me again. Welcome back to Why Won't It Stop Breaking? I'm your host, Art, and why won't it stop breaking? Well, output shaft's a little bit sloppy. Output shift seal is leaking a little bit. That U-joint looks all right. This pinion seal is leaking quite a bit. Oh, yep, okay, found it. All right, well, let me bring you in here, get you a better shot of this. But I don't know if you can hear that clunking. It's not as bad as you think, but it's bad. So here's what we're looking at. Pinion seal, doing pinion seal things. But here's the issue. Might be a little hard to see for you guys. See if I can get a better angle. All right. All these suckers, finger tight. Yay. So it's not that bad. We'll throw some blue Loctite on it, sling it back up there, and see if that gets rid of the vibration. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with this rear end. All right, that's all tightened up. It's got a decent amount of backlash, but it's really not that bad. It's actually not a lot at all. But it's tight, doesn't rattle anymore. But when I was under here, looking at that, I did the wrong thing and I looked at more stuff. So let me show you what we got. Oh, doesn't have any nuts on the transmission mount. All right, that's okay. We can fix that. What else we got? Oh, wires were laying on top of the exhaust. That's okay. They seem to be all right. We'll just tuck that back in there. I've gone through, tightened up just about everything I can under there, plugged some holes. Oil pan bolts weren't really loose. So we'll see if that just one little was enough to squeeze in that trash gaskets that's in there for right now. And then we'll figure out the rest of it. Need to find some header bolts. I'm missing 2 on this sucker over here. Let's fire it up, warm it up, and see what it looks like. See if it's still puking out the bottom. Now we're leaking coolant from the water pump. I just can't even. All right, so I think I got everything squared away. It sounds like there's a knock in the bottom of the pan now, but the coolant leak luckily was just one of the heater hoses. Tighten it up and we're good to go now. So putting it back on the ground, see if we can make it around the block. Okay, so it made it around the block, went to the store, came back, still puking out oil out of the oil pan. So I topped it off, and it's still puking water out of the water pump. Whenever you start it up, after the thermostat opens, then the dripping stops. So I don't know what the hell that's all about too. We'll have to address it when we pull this motor out, because I don't think there are going to be any other options other to yank this motor out, reseal the entire thing, and throw it back in if there's nothing wrong with the top end or bottom end. But it's giving me a run for money as far as the leak categories and chasing all that stuff. But anyways, so we're going to take it over to Feinberg's and take a look at the hydraulic pump in the lift gate on Oscar, see if we can't replace that, because we got to pick up an LS. Well, we made it here. We may have lost about a quart of oil and a gallon of coolant on the way, but you know what? We're going to count the small victory. I honestly don't think that engine's got much left in it, but we'll see. All right, we need to measure this pump down in here. Under this and so we can get this lift gate working on Oscar. All right, so this is what we're looking at. Need to measure this guy and replace it because the company that built this bed no longer exists, and so it'd be hard to find this exact pump. So we're going to measure the tank and the pump itself and the width so it'll fit down in there. I don't think we need to replace the ram, but chances are once we get some pressure in it, it'll blow out the seals, but then we can just rebuild it. I think it'll be all right. So first we'll start with replacing this pump. There's a ton of water in here. Need to find the drain hole and clean it out. Measure this pump, get a pump, and then we'll figure it out from there. Also need to swap out the rear end on this guy with the one that's in Colonel Sherbert, and also need to put a new gearbox, steering gearbox in Oscar, and new hoses, and put that steering gearbox back in Colonel Sherbert. Just kind of never ends. Okay, we're looking at 16 to 18 inches is what I can get in here as far as length, and then up to 5 inches wide. So we'll look to see if we can find something in that area. We'll do something more like a remote rather than this manual bar. Do a remote that'll sit in the box over here, and it's got a magnet. We can stick it wherever. I think that's a little better. And then that way it has more of like a power down, because this has a manual valve down, where how far you push down on the lever is how quickly the ramp goes down. I want it to be more two-way up and down, but we'll see how that goes. This ram is only one way. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but I'm gonna unload a bunch of parts out of this thing, throw it up in the shop, and then see if we can't make it home again. We finally see what this thing does, 0 to 60. This thing's got 0 to 60. Go 0 to 60. Let's see what it's got. Still lots of spinning. That'll give us an idea, I suppose. An idea that it's got too much for the string. It did blow up. That's a plus. Well, I'm back home. 0 to 60 time, can't trust it. It was spinning the whole freaking way. But I don't know, this car's got lots of problems right now. It's kind of a lot to tackle. May have to park her for a little bit till we get things figured out. Whether or not we want to pull the engine, change it out with something else, or pull the engine, fix it. I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. Also need to get caster camber plates. These tires are leaning in on both sides. It was lowered but not corrected, so they're like tipped, and kind of makes it a pain. I'm sure the caster is so bad. It's probably even negative considering how it drives on the freeway, or not on the freeway, but on the side roads. But I don't know. Keep throwing money at it. Well, beyond that, it's going to be the end of this episode. Disappointing. Oh, hi. Disappointing. All right. It's going to be the end of this episode. Wish I could have got a real 0 to 60, but speaking of which, ordered up some parts for this guy. You'll see soon enough. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And maybe we'll get one of these projects completely done. I don't know yet. Kind of like just working on a little bit at a time on everything else. Looks so good. Thanks for watching, and as always, have fun.